Rebuild of the favorites. We here for the latest. South side or the north side. Not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball. But we don't put the wrong strings. Yeah. It's that time of the year now. Wrigley or guarantee, so the whole league that we here now. New show with a new mood. Discussions and interviews. Straight rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. All right, so my name is Aldo. I'm along with Kevin Fiddler. Our third host, Matt Zawoski at Southside Zoe, is dealing with some baby issues. Don't have kids. Just kidding. But I guess we'll wait a few minutes here for the Periscope crew to come in. Check us out on Twitter at PinwheelsIvyPod. Tell a friend, and then tell another friend. Catch us on all the podcast. Whoa. So I did label this episode for all the people just joining. I did label this episode World Series. Rick Hahn said it. And this is something we talked about last week, how spring training was going to be starting, and we were going to start seeing all these quotes. So I already have one comment saying, "Hey, fellas, kind of early, right?" He said it. It may be early. It doesn't matter.
Is it ever too early to talk World Series talk? Over the day before?
See, my Sox summer is the only guy allowed to complain about parenting issues publicly. To be fair to Zoe, he didn't do it publicly. I brought it up for him. So, Zoe did say that if he ever gets his kid to go to sleep, what do you do back when you were young, Kevin? What would your parents dose you with to fall asleep?
Mom tried crack once. That didn't work. Kept me up.
That had the opposite effect.
Right. Yeah. So then she tried rhinoceros tranquilizers, and that kind of worked until I was about 2. And then
a little whiskey on a cloth, like.
I think that's the old wives' tale, right? The old trick. Get a little nummy on the binky, the baby binky. I mean, come on, let's be honest with you. I mean, I have some friends that are doctors, and they have a 2-year-old, and they let the 2-year-old taste their beer sometimes. So I don't think that there's a problem with it. But, Zoe, I think Zoe with the genetics that little baby Zoe has, I'm thinking that it has to be at least Jameson and at least a flask of it.
Kevin, we do need to address this. As a good friend, Alex pointed out, K-Fitz is basically a Sox fan at this point. Comment, Kevin. I'm
not cringing.
I think that's agreeing with that.
The Johnny Walker is making me cringe, but it's not a cringeable comment so much as it's just incorrect. I don't, I can root for the White Sox though. I think I'm okay with that. But I'm going to be one of those guys. I would like to believe myself as a gap bridger between the Cubs fandom, the meatballs, and of course in Chicago, White Sox fans believe themselves to be the intellectually superior baseball mind. So I would say that I'm like the United Nations. Maybe you want to call me like the peacemaker. I can call them or the cheesemaker. I don't know, but
for the podcast listeners, by the way, I'm not going to edit any of this. This is just going right into the podcast. We got Beefloaf saying in the comments, "I've let Bonita Stakey have wine when she was 2 years old. Ain't no thing."
Yep, absolutely.
She probably has a better palate for wine than I do. I don't really enjoy wine. Maybe it's because I didn't have it at such a young age.
Well, sorry, Unreal Lombardo. No Zima, but all Zoe has in the fridge are Smirnoff ices.
Zima. My mom used to love Zimas. I feel like not being a male or feminine thing, but I feel like that was a very suburban women thing to drink. Zimas.
Zimas are.
Did you enjoy Zimas, Kevin?
I did not drink Zimas. For me, I think what came out when I was in college, we had Mad Dog. That was good. Mad Dog was always good. Aftershock was also disgusting. Big Beefloaf tonight will be drinking UV vodka on the show. That'll be awful.
UV. Oh man, that just brought me back to my freshman year at Eastern Illinois, drinking some UV blue, all hours of the night. Absolutely disgusting, but it tasted great, and it was only like $12, I think.
Yeah, when you're in college, It's the best thing you can drink is the stuff you can get your hands on. That's about
Dude,
it. Like
I'm
seriously.
saying UV blue. I have no clue what I ate, but I remember one night after I drank the UV blue, I threw up orange. I don't know how that happened, but orange. We actually have a baseball question here from Facebook. Thank you, David Rodriguez. Oh wait, I clicked on the wrong one. Where is it? Who's asking about? Who's asking? Oh, here we go. Found it. David Rodriguez from Facebook. Alzolay going to start this year? I think so. He showed enough during that short year in 2020. He does have an option year, so the Cubs can be flexible enough where it's like, all right, if you've struggled a little, we can send him back down to the minors for a couple weeks. So he does have that option year in 2021. But no, he has done everything possible to deserve a shot, and he's going to get his innings in this year. This is a big prove it year for a lot of guys, including him. But Alzolay, I mean, I've been on high on him since 2017. Unfortunately, the injuries have set him back. But hey, it's time to prove if he can be a guy they can count on in your rotation.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys are just joining us, we're not necessarily. Well, I mean, okay, we're stalling a little bit for Zoe. Zoe's having some babies.
This is our episode. I like it. We didn't say what we're going to talk about. We're just rolling with the comments right now. I love it.
We got to do our rundown though. We got to make sure we thank PointsBet and then bet on points.
That's right. That's right, Kevin. Because the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast, which you are listening to, and we drop an episode every week, is brought to you by our good friends at the PointsBet Sportsbook. If you log in and register using the promo code Pinwheels, you can get free bonuses up to $1,500, Kevin.
Yeah.
And
so
then
go down on Kyle Hendricks to win the Cy Young.
Yes, we will get to those odds because the Kyle Hendricks disrespect is we're on year 4 of the Kyle Hendricks is the most underrated pitcher in baseball, which I think he loves and I think the Cubs kind of love. But fans, we can get upset about it. But yes, you can bet on that. They have the what is it? The points betting type of bet that they have. Also a great thing. Mm-hmm. Just got to be careful though if you ever get on the wrong side of that. But again, that is PointsBet. Sign up today using the promo code Pinwheels.
And we will definitely get into the Tony La Russa press conference yesterday too, because that was a doozy. For those of you that are Sox fans that are here,
yes, here we go. Oh, bringing back all the memories. We got Taylor also slamming UV blue and then ordering it up in extra large Chubby's cheese sticks at EIU. I remember one of the last times I went back down to visit a buddy, he ended up ordering the Chubby sticks. The guy came, it was 1:30 in the morning. Everyone was passed out. I opened the door. I didn't order it. I didn't have cash on me. So I was like, anybody going to pay for this? The guy just left because everyone was asleep. No one had the money. So it was well, bye guys. And I was like, how often does that guy see that? Every night, just drunk 20-year-old kids or drunk 20-year-olds just ordering pizza and then falling asleep.
I'm going one step further. So Vegas just opened up a brand new White Castle. It's the first White Castle that's actually a brick and mortar drive-through White Castle. All the other ones are either on Fremont Street or in a casino. And it's right across the street from what used to be the Hard Rock Hotel. It's not going to be the Virgin Hotel, which is going to be the home of one of my girlfriend's new clients, which is Money Baby, which is a brand new sportsbook, ultra lounge restaurant thing that they're about to open up in May, and it's rad. And I'm like, I'm not going to even eat at your events. I'm going across the street. There's White Castle. It's too close. And so that's dangerous. But that reminds me of college because White Castle was the only thing open 24 hours besides Steak and Shake in Elgin. So if you're stuck in Elgin, it's Steak and Shake or White Castle or El Faro right there on State Street. But
all right, Kevin, baseball talk. So the last time that we were on, we're talking about possible signings, and then the Cubs signed Jake Arrieta. Mm-hmm. Thoughts?
5 years ago, me loves it, but it's a weird turn of events when you look at it because the Cubs let Jake Arrieta walk in lieu of signing Yu Darvish, which was a big deal at the time, and then
it was almost the 3-year anniversary. By the way, it was the Cubs signed Yu Darvish 3 years ago to the day that the news came out that they were signing Jake Arrieta 3 months after they traded Yu Darvish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, remind me to tell my BFF Frank Thomas story. By the way, that's got to happen.
We will get to that. We have to get to that. Yeah.
With Arrieta, I like it. You got a veteran presence. You got a guy that loves the club. I mean, is it a little nostalgic? Yeah, probably. You got that, and you got Pedro Strop signing, so it's going to play a little bit on our nostalgia. But the guy still has some in it. And you know what? This is one thing that I really do appreciate is Jake Arrieta is a driven dude, and he hasn't had the greatest success So a guy like Jake Arrieta feels like he makes, the last time worked for him when he switched over and he came over from Baltimore, and all of a sudden he blew up. And I think that mentally, if he is going to figure it out for another season or two, there is no better situation for Jake Arrieta to do it. And we all know the guy works like he's a hoss, man. The guy works harder than any baseball player in the game. And he also rocks a badass onesie when he really has to too. And so it's I still think, and Yupper brings it up. The U signing was the right way to go. The ironic and sad part is that it took you 2 years to get really figured out. And then by the time he really figured it out, he's out the door. And now we get Jake Arrieta trying to figure it out again when Jake Arrieta had it figured out then. So like they let someone walk that had it figured out, brought in someone that didn't have it figured out, let that person figure it out. Now the person that had it figured out back in who has to now figure it out. And I don't even know how to figure out that equation.
Now, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Obviously, the Cubs have a lot of guys, on their walk here in terms of heading into free agency after 2021. And then some of the guys that they've signed. I mean, most of the guys that they've signed, like the two biggest contracts that they've signed this offseason, Jock Peterson, Arrieta. A lot of prove it guys. A lot of, you're going to get this year to prove it. Do you actually have something left, Jake Arrieta? Jock Peterson, though, can you put up a consistent long year? Can you actually hit lefties for once? I don't know if great motivation for those individual guys. It could help out the team eventually. But at the same time, you can be pessimistic. Well, not even pessimistic, but you can be like, well, even if the Cubs do suck, at least they have like a couple of guys that if they are kind of decent, they could trade at the trade deadline.
Exactly. And and that's kind of funny you say that too. I was even talking to Chasen about the Shreve last night. He's with Pittsburgh now, so he's down in Florida. And Tyler Anderson as well signed with the Pirates. Tyler was a former top pick, and another guy from Vegas that they played against each other in high school. Actually, he was right down the road. They were in Little League together, so they're living together. And it seems to me that both dudes believe that they were brought in. Like this, and I think this is not. I'm only using this as an example because I feel like baseball in general, this is kind of like a pattern right now this year. I feel like they brought in guys like Chasen, and they feel like they were brought in basically to perform. And if they go out there and perform, they're 100% were brought in to perform for the first half of the season and then get jettisoned for some trading. And that's what Pirates look like they're doing. And I think when you look at some of these other franchises that are, you're like, well, okay, a lot of minor league deals because they're taking risks on guys that, if they figure it out, become great trade capital down the stretch for teams that are contending. Because those two guys are really good left-handed arms, but then you look at across the board, and so you see like the Cubs. If the Cubs are doing mediocre in their chatter, but Arrieta's figured it out, it's a boost to somebody. It's the same thing with the Chris or the Javi or even the Rizzo. I know it sounds blasphemous to say this, but everybody's on the table at the trade. And if it's not clicking, and I think that that's a good thing because I feel like that. I think that probably the person that needs to fire the most is the guy that people think is the most inclined to be back, which is Javi. And I think having that it's not direct competition. It's a put up or shut up now. And I think that if these guys say that they want to be Cubs for the rest of their career, go earn it. Go earn it. No more excuses. Replay in the dugout again. Last year's strike zone, you're going to have better umpires. I think I mentioned this with you guys. 22% of the balls that Chris took out of the zone were called strikes last year. Why? Because the same umpires in the Midwest were rotating around the COVID stuff. So they had the same bad
umpires. Just
and in the West, you look at the West strike zone. The West had, look at the West strike zone compared to the Central and compared to the East. The West had the best strike zone of all the areas, I guess you would say, the regions. And so you're going to get all those umpires again. So you're going to get a Chris Bryant zone that actually is more with a real zone because the kid knows the zone better. And so you're going to get a Rizzo that's out there just, I don't even know. Rizzo just shows up in balls, and I love it. So I think that this is it's one of those things where it's going to push these guys to, you really want to be a Cub, prove it. And I think that it's now at this point.
This thought made me think of this question. So Lex brings up in terms of talking about the Arrieta signing, felt like it was to make Cubs fans forget about Schwarber Lester. And, he's saying, judging from my Cubs friends, it worked. Great point. When the signing was announced, or when the news was announced that Cubs were signing Arrieta, it was a love fest, and you're gonna get that. We're talking about one of the guys who is one of the best pitchers on the 2016 World Series team,
one of the best acquisitions in Cubs history.
Yeah, and the guy who was who put up the almost, or I think it is the single greatest calendar year, June 2015 to June 2016 was ridiculous what Arrieta did, and like specifically that second half in 2015 when he won the Cy Young. But I wanted to ask you this, Kevin, in terms of like, forget about the feelings, the emotional, attachment that we feel with players. If you just have, and forget about the money too. I mean, it's not that much of a difference. I think Arrieta is getting $4 million this year, and then he has like a $2 million option or buyout, and then like an option that the Cubs can pick up next year. Lester's getting like $5 million total. So I mean, the money's like almost basically even for like 2021. Out of those two pitchers for 2021, who would you rather have in the Cubs rotation? Who makes the team better?
No, it's not nostalgia. Jake Arrieta is an upgrade over John Lester, and Jock Peterson is an upgrade over Kyle Schwarber. That is, I don't think that's really debatable. One guy right now at this point in his career couldn't break a window pane of glass with a fastball, and the other guy has some stuff in the tank that can be dirty. So I think that either way, Lester and Arrieta were projected as a 3 or a 4. Nothing really changes there, except we're going to get another righty, and in a rotation that has Kyle Hendricks.
No lefties
Zach
now.
Davey.
The Cubs went from they had a couple lefties, now no lefties in the rotation.
What I'm saying is, so you got guys that don't have velocity.
Yeah,
Zach
I mean,
Davies,
no.
no velocity. Hendricks,
Even
no
with
velocity.
Arrieta, I think the average fastball for all the starters is like 90 miles per hour.
And so he's gonna benefit from just change of pace. I also saw this too. I think that you look at again the Jock move defensively. It is an upgrade, although Kyle it's underrated as a defender. I think that you have a guy that's gonna get a real opportunity to play every day, and I don't think anybody knows what Jock Peterson every day looks like. It could be a disaster, or it could be Corey Seager style. Corey Seager doesn't sit against lefties. Corey Seager just plays every day. And Jock didn't get that opportunity because they played that left-righty stuff there. And this is why he chose the Cubs, not the White Sox, is he gets to play every day. And, he took less money to do an everyday job. And he knows that he's also auditioning for more money, whether it's with the Cubs or whether it's with a trade and then he's signing somewhere else. So, I think you've got, we talk about contract year players. I mean, this sets up for the Cubs to be much like 2015 in the sense that the expectations are tapered. No one's expecting much. And then all of a sudden, a nice start to the season. Hey, it doesn't suck that you're playing the Pirates opening weekend. It doesn't suck that you can start 3-0 and have Juju right out of the gate. That is how you come out of the gate really sets the tone for the season. And if the Cubs can come out hot, I mean, anything can happen. And David Rossi can play around with the fun. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's a bunch of goofballs winning baseball games. And all of a sudden, it's 2017 all over again, 2016 all over again, except we're not going to trade any more prospects for.
I would say, so obviously spring training started, and I guess technically pitchers and catchers already reported like a week ago because they have to go to the COVID protocols. Mm-hmm. So they were there actually like a few days earlier anyway. But anyways, official start of spring training, pitchers and catchers are there. You get that, baseball's coming back, get that excitement. I tweeted out earlier in the week, I honestly not really that pumped up right now. Not that I'm not going to be, just right now didn't have the same, that excitement that you feel. It's like, man, haven't seen baseball in like 4 months or whatever it's been. And much of it is just like what was the Cubs' direction this offseason? Like, yeah, they did make some improvements, like Jock over Schwarber, Arrieta over Lester, but then it's like you traded Yu Darvish. Like, why did you do that? Like, were you trying to? Yeah, you just like threw away a race for 4 teenagers that you might see in like 3 years. So like really, what was the direction for 2021? But right after you brought up, just like starting the year and not really having those expectations, I think it's probably where I'm at like that because like for the first time really since 2015, it's like, yeah, the Cubs like they could win, but like you're not really expecting that. And like since 2016, you expected you started every year. You're like, no, the Cubs should like win the division, and then like see what they do in the playoffs. And I know even like before 2019, I know that like at the end, like it was just a fucking horrible end to the 2019 season just because they didn't have like anyone to close out games. But even before that year, there's a lot of fans who were down on them, or just like baseball in general. Like the whole is like, oh, the Cubs are going to suck this year. They're going to finish in 3rd place. And the same thing happened like heading to 2020. It was like, oh, this roster is going to. It's like, no, like this roster still has a lot of talent. They've gone through stretches, like frustrating stretches where they underperform and just like the entire lineup has the same struggle, but they still have a lot of talent. most of that talent's still here. It's just now the shift for me is like the question marks in the rotation. But so like I don't know. I guess that's the exciting part about spring training. We get to see some of these new guys. It's like, okay, what does Alzolay have? Like, can he be the guy who Theo Epstein thought was going to be like a number 1 or number 2 starter in the rotation?
Do you know what Alzolay does have though?
Yeah,
options.
What option? He has that option here.
He's the taxi squad guy this year, which sucks for a guy like him. Because he'll throw an outing and he'll be sent down. He'll have to sit 7 days and then he'll have to come back. So like he's going to have a
that does concern me because of the way that happened last year. And every time it seemed like every time he was up, he would be, called back down to them, like their alternate site, like the next day. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? But hey, at least how it went last year, it worked out. Because it was just the entire environment of like, there was no game. So it's just like, all right, we're just going to work on you. Every day, it's like what's working, what's not. I don't like. And when's the minor league season even going to start this year for the guys? It's going to be like a month.
Wait, hold on. They announced that today, actually.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, I want to say 6 hours ago. AAA starts April 6th.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to
be their first game on April 6th. Happy birthday to me! I'm April 7th. Yo.
Okay, so yeah, but like I hope they only do like that they send them down to that they do the yo-yo between like Chicago and Iowa. If it's like, all right, we've played like 13 games in 14 days. He's made 3 starts during those like 2 weeks. We can give him like a breather or something. But I hope it's not just like, let's send him down just because we can, and just that would annoy the hell out of me, because you need to find out what this guy can do over like most of the year.
It remind me too when we have Chase, when Shreve's going to be on. Shreve said he's going to come on in a couple weeks once he's settled up there. He's in Florida right now with the Pirates, but he with the Yankees was one of those guys that came in his last year with the Yankees. He had the option, so he got to be taxi squad guy, and I'd be really curious to hear his take on what that does to a pitcher and their mentality. Being up and down. I mean, he didn't have to go. He was going to what Scranton, Wilkes, Scranton, I think. And so he was not going far. I mean, he was like an hour away. But the emotional toll that it takes on a pitcher's mindset to go up and down like it's brutal. It's not comfortable. So I'm curious.
So we have another question from Facebook. By the way, keep them coming anywhere you're watching. From Anthony Ray Rodriguez, who's going to play second, Kevin?
Nico for me. I'm a Nico guy though. I have no problem. I think a lot of people are underrating Nico. I think White Sox fans are underrating, Andrew Vaughn the same kind of way. I think Andrew's a better hitter. It's not the same thing. Obviously, much different makeups as well. But mature wise, they're mature adult collegiate bats that shouldn't require much fine tuning. So I think that Nico can be fine. I think that Nico can hit in the low, he can be in that 8 or 9 hole. He doesn't have to be expected to do much but get on base, which I think he does a really good job of. I think at his age, he's got a very good command of the strike zone and understanding of seeing, a little bit. And he was thrown into the Wolves a little bit earlier last year because of everything. But I think that he's not going to be, it's not going to fall just on Nico, obviously. And I think that Bodie's going to be over there, which terrifies me. Digging into that, I had no idea how bad defensively David Bodie is. He makes some plays where you're like, God dang, that's gorgeous. But consistently,
we brought that up all the time last year.
920 career fielder, like that's terrible. And at second base, he's even worse.
I was trying to think of like a comparison with other sports where it's like, oh, this guy makes like the hardest plays look easy as hell, but it's like the routine plays for whatever he just kicks the ball around.
Oop, you there? Uh-oh. You got muted. Oh, you unplugged your microphone. So this is where I'm going to sing to you guys. Aldo can't talk, so I'm going to sing a song for all of you. No, just kidding. Well, Aldo, move your mouth and I'll talk for you. I really like Nico Hoerner. Nico Hoerner is my favorite corner. I don't know. I got nothing. We'll talk about the 14-year deal, though. That's a good call. But I do think that you put Nico in. I think KB's got to stay in the 2-hole. I think you got to start Ian Happ. You go KB. You go Riz, Javi, Willie, and then you can go Hay, and you can push things down. And I think Nico would be a very good second leadoff in that 9-hole.
Can you hear me?
There you go. He's no Nick Madrigal, but you got Jock in there too. And I keep forgetting about Jock. Like, where are you going to put Jock? Is he going to be a 5? Is he going to be a 4? Like, where do you put Jock Peterson in that lineup? And David Ross.
Kevin, I'm going to ask you because I know you had a little trouble last week. Should we do a Cubs lineup?
7 left fielders. Sorry about that.
It's going to be a little easier though because the NL's going to have the DH, so you don't have to worry about the DH.
Oh yeah. So that makes.
Or they're not going to have the DH.
Right. Well, look. David Ross. We know one thing about David Ross. He is 100% addicted to that right left thing in the lineup, and which it's cool and all, but it drives me batshit crazy to think that someone is going to be like so stuck in that. You don't have to go righty lefty. It's nice, but it's sometimes some of these lineups they force the issue. You put your best guys at the top.
Yes.
And you let your best guys.
That's what I was going to say.
Like if it goes righty, I don't give a shit.
I was going to say,
Ricky,
I like the concept of last year, after David Ross was hired and, there were some quotes from earlier from like a Fangraph story from a few years ago. And, they were asking him like, what's your concept on, lineup construction? And, it seemed so basic, but it was like something that we didn't see with the last few years under Joe Madden. And it was like, for the most part, I just want my best hitters to get the most at bats. Mm-hmm. Like, whoa, what? And I think you have to do that when you really don't have that, that true traditional, leadoff man, which the Cubs don't have. But I think you're going to have Ian Happ. There's already been talk about, Ian Happ's going to stick at the leadoff position. I like the KB at 2. Great strike zone, makes a lot of contact. Rizzo 3.
I think so. I mean,
Contreras 4. Jock 5.
I think you go Jock 5. I guess. I think that
Javi 5. Javi 6. Javi 6. I think Javi 6 is like decent.
Is it starting to feel like Jason Hayward like 7th?
Oh, you know what I was going to say? Jason Hayward, sneaky, has been really good against right-handed pitching. So if it's like against a righty, like sneak up Hayward to 6.
Didn't Hayward have like a really good like average in the 6 or 7 hole in his career? I forgot.
Something like that. But I mean, last year, Jason Hayward was second behind Ian Happ in like every offensive category for the Cubs. Mm-hmm. And he's been, in 2019, he was also really damn good, against right-hand pitching. But yeah,
I do think
that's a lot of question marks. This is what I was going to bring up when it got muted. I don't know what the hell happened there. The one scary name that I've seen, and I'm still big on Nico. I'm not like bailing on Nico. I wouldn't if he like starts the year in AAA. I'm not going to be mad. However, if it's keep trotting Nico out there, or if they signed Eric Sogard, give me Nico Horner. I don't want any part of Eric Sogard.
I want Nico over Bobby a second too. Like defensively, Nico's fantastic.
He is fantastic.
And you need a defense this year because the pitching staff isn't going to be missing a lot of barrels. So balls in play are going to be an issue.
But the only thing I do worry about the Cubs and Nico is that we've seen with a few other guys that they haven't necessarily been rushed, but it's like, they've gotten that wall. Mm-hmm. That rookie wall or that sophomore year wall where like their production just drops. And Nico, he was, he's a ready college bat. So you expect those guys to be, their bat to be more mature. But he has really struggled. And he's had like less than, like, he's at like 80 games in the minors. Like not even half the season. So we're not talking about a guy who's like played a lot either. And the time that he's been in the majors, there's a definite hole in his entire like plate approach. Where like the contact is nice, but the contact doesn't really matter if you're just like rolling soft ground balls to like second base.
But I also think that that's a byproduct of the fact that the kid isn't getting like, okay, when you have a normal kid that comes and it's a stud first rounder, and they come in a situation where there's no pressure to win, there's no pressure to do anything other than develop over the course of like a season. They go out there and they take their lumps. We saw it with Lou Bob last year, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But you have to be able to be on the track to make those steps forward and steps back. And Nico, it was such an inconsistent system for him. And there he is. Moncada's is here with us. Thank God.
Holy shit, man.
Wait. Zoe, thoughts on having a baby?
It's 95% cool. And then they start teething, and you're like, what is this noise? Holy shit. So if you're listening to the show right now and you are a parent and you have like the go-to teething like idea, DMs are open, bud.
Read the chat. We've got Beef Loaf says actually a whole bottle of vino, or blue UV vodka.
Blue
I think he
UV,
said
yeah.
UV vodka was one.
I
what
can
else
only
we
see
got?
I can only see the chat from when I signed on.
So let's see here. We got melatonin was one.
Yeah, I gave him some of that.
Rub
love to
whiskey on his gums.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tequila
Zima?
or rum on gums. Lil Yumper going to tequila. That seems, man.
No.
Unreal Lombardo dropped out Zima.
Oh, Zima. Yeah.
For the kids.
Yeah, because they sell that at the corner store.
Red Dog.
I was actually going to mention, didn't Zima like make a comeback a few years ago?
It did for like a couple weeks.
You're absolutely going to love the first 10 minutes. We talked about nothing but baseball.
Oh,
Psych.
psych.
We talked anything but baseball the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, you know how I actually got him to go to sleep? I was just reading him the same jokes that people have been making the last 2 days over and over on Twitter, and he got really bored with it and fell asleep. We get it. Tony La Russa drinks. We get it. Nick Madrigal's short. We get it. Your jokes are hilarious. Oh my God. Chill the baby. That's what we did that too.
Gilbert, this is exactly not only what they use for the baby, but this is actually what the White Sox are using for Tony La Russa when he's done with his day. It's awesome. Give him the cold frozen baby chew toys. Good job today, Tony.
By the way, Zoe, you came out at perfect timing. We were about to transition into some Sox talk.
Hey, I'm pumped, dude. Like,
let's get to it, Zoe. What are you pumped about? Sox.
I mean, it's Quote Fest 2021 right now.
That is something I brought up.
Some of the good ones are Rick Hahn, basically saying World Series or bust. Love to hear that. Can't wait till that gets old take exposed.
Title. It's the title of this episode.
Oh, nice.
World Series. Rick Hahn said it.
Absolutely. World Series. Rick Hahn said it.
That should be a shirt. Make a shirt, Kevin.
We're working on it. Rick Hahn said it. World Series. Rick Hahn, ..
It should be just like any phrase, and Rick Hahn said it.
All I can think of is Ace Ventura after he's done that whole thing, and you can quote me.
And you could.
That would be a better.
Oh, here we go. Onion. I haven't heard that one.
Onion?
Give your kid some onion.
I'm curious about that one, Ray.
Me and Awesome Blossom. I'll take a nap too.
Yeah. But that was a great quote.
The Dylan Cease one.
Yeah. Yasmani Grandal, obviously huge from the 108 fan. Probably watched the 108, Sox Fest show. Saw my bold prediction. And then he was being interviewed and he's like, oh shit, I should just say what Zoe said. And he said the same thing. He said after seeing some of Dylan Cease's stuff, he thinks he could be a Cy Young finalist, which is basically what my bold prediction was.
If you go on PointsBet right now and you register using the promo code Pinwheels, you can bet Dylan Cease. You can bet Dylan Cease to win 2021 American League Cy Young at plus 4,000.
I'm not laughing at the bet. I'm laughing at Cub Zone. That's great. That's your boy, Fids. Fids basically got to give all of Cubs Twitter the double guns. Because
by the way, Kevin,
last week, you would have known that I said that there was no fucking trade for Chris Bryant.
Not only that, but then what are we starting to hear about possible talks?
Yeah, I guess I probably should mention that.
Yes, before we fully transition to Sox talk.
While you do
can
that,
clip this too.
I'm going to make this happen so he has to wear it on opening night. That was a bad thing to say. I will find you a romper, bro.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're going in all different directions, but so I do have to say I saw that video and I wanted to do like a top 5 things in Yohan Moncada's like fit because the hair, the beard, the chains, the romper, the shoes. Everything was fucking like 5 stars.
Oh, dude, buddy, I just typed in male flower romper. You can go to Walmart and get one right now, man. That was the bad thing to say on this show.
And then you can get like a number, like you can take it to a tailor and get like a number patch that's his number. That'd be nice.
Oh, the one that he actually wore, it's like $40 on Amazon, dude.
I wrote. So.
All right. So, what do you think of this song? Rate the song first.
Oh, that's a banger. That's 11.
All right, Kevin. So, about those talks.
Sorry.
Let's speaking of giddy up, I gotta word this correctly so that I say it correctly, but and I'll have some more news tomorrow. I gotta go over. I'm going over the pages tomorrow to pick up my new hat, my new KB17 Red Bull hat that I'll wear next week on the show.
Hey, while you're there, ask him if I can hold like 10 grand. He got it.
Aldo's trying to get me to get in the cage with that machine that they have because it throws like
because
so
wouldn't it be perfect? Because we all sit on our couch and we're like, how can't you hit that fucking ball? So like it would be perfect, Kevin. You know, yes, played baseball, but he hasn't like taken a swing in a year.
I don't know if I want to give them that much pleasure to throw me in there and watch me.
It'd be perfect content.
If Michael let me go in there, whatever. And I don't do anything to hurt him, or KB. But so stupid story, anecdotes aside, or whatever. I can tell you that in the last 3 years, since the extension for Chris Bryant talks have started and they've been mumbled, and whether it was untrue reports from local Chicago personalities that have never been able to be stomped out, saying that he was offered a $200 million plus salary and he turned it down, which never happened. A rumor that cannot be stomped out. It just is like a shitty fire that just keeps popping up. Idiots just throw it out there. And the person that created that rumor should be ashamed of themselves. It's one of the biggest blunders they've made in their career because they've single-handedly nearly pushed Chris Bryant, who has had the best career start in Major League history as a Cub, at least the first in Cubs history, ever, and has pushed him to the point where it could have pushed the other way. But now, since that, in those 3 years, since all that bullcrap, and the trade rumors and just the guff and the vitriol and the struggles and whatever, I can tell you that this is the first time in 3 years that I have felt optimistic that Chris Bryant is going to sign a contract extension, not only a fair contract extension, what I would assume to be possibly a less than market value contract extension, so long as he gets the no trade clause that he desires, which will shut up all the trade rumors permanently, since he's in charge of the trade rumors at that point. To me, I feel like I'm. If I were to be a betting man, I would bet Chris Bryant signs an extension before spring training ends. I'm reading tea leaves, the positivity. There's so much love going on right now, not just with Cub fans and going on. I'm talking about the undercurrent. On the undercurrents, we have that. Like, I really do feel like, and so we have you covered, buddy. You don't need to use that cheap sound effect from your.
Oh, what's that?
We don't need to use your phone. Oh, look at those.
Buddy. Yep, I got them options for you, bro. Now you got to wear one at the home opener.
I mean, for people who go, like, there has to be, like, the third base line has to be just a row of fans wearing the romper.
The whole 108 should be wearing that, by the way.
Yeah, or the 108. I mean, they're definitely going to do it.
The whole 108 at once. Like, it should be romper night. But on board. I feel more optimistic today. I feel like, and I don't know how it's going with the other camps. I can't tell you what's going on in the Javi camp. I can't tell you what's going on in the Rizzo, but I can tell you right now that the Bryant camp is 100. We all know that Chris Bryant wants to retire a Cub, but the Bryant camp right now seems to feel like things are moving forward towards an extension and one that's not only fair, but in essence, what is the opposite of the rumors for the last 3 years, which would be it's going to be more than likely a team-only deal with that no trade clause. Theo doesn't do no trade clauses. Jed doesn't really seem to have a policy about it. So there's contract negotiation, but I feel like the discussions or the potential for discussions right now are at an all-time good mojo, good juju right now. So I think, again, I would say that if I was a betting person, I would bet Chris Bryant signs his deal, an extension, I would say 4 to 5 years. And I would say that it would be under market value. I don't think you use a Tatis for any kind of market for that. It's not even the same. And I think you're looking at like a 5 or 5 year deal. You're looking for 18 to 22, maybe 23 million a year in that, somewhere in there. I don't even know what the window is. I really don't. Maybe I'll get a little bit more out of him tomorrow. But I don't think that money is the issue. I really don't. I think it's just making sure that they do what's right by the rest of the league, keeping the players getting market value. There's also that into consideration you have to take when a guy signs a contract. Is he hurting everybody else's chance to make some money by taking a team discount? And nobody really thinks of it that way. Just like with Chris Bryant, when they did the service time stuff. The grievance wasn't for Chris. The grievance was to protect players that come after Chris. But it plays as Chris is mad. do you think they really had a thought in their head that they were going to win that thing? No, it was to protect the next generation.
Yeah,
And
he even said it. That's the other thing. Remember from that, it was like, oh, Chris Bryant is mad at the Cubs that they played the service time issues. That's why he did the grievance. No, he literally said why he did it.
But again, you have other media types in Chicago, which, by the way, I'm going to point this out. Whether it's Evan Altman breaking, what's his name, the Cubs signing the reliever, or Son Ranto and Crawley breaking the Jake Arrieta on the air because Rick or Ronnie or whatever Rocket got a little drunk and pulled it, or whether it was us breaking Chris playing on coming off the DL or the Mets trade stuff not ever happening. I see more dudes on the ground doing legwork than I see with the corporate media types. Jesse Rogers didn't give Evan Altman a single credit when Evan broke the story about the signing. If I keep forgetting his name,
I keep forgetting too. God damn.
Sorry, guys, but that's happening a lot. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on the under. Yeah, it's hard to recognize who's credible or not, but you can find credible sources like us.
So somebody, I forgot who it was, but somebody was tweeting that we now live in the age where the members of the BWAA are merely going to be confirming shit that people like us break.
Mm-hmm. Rogers didn't even give Evan bad off season for Jesse. He already got bitch slapped by Chris verbally, and then and then this. So it's not how it should be. But
Jesse Rogers took Chris Bryant out of like not being on Twitter for like 2 years.
Everything, but it's all Red Bull retweets, and then be better.
All right, so
all right, let's get
right
to
now.
it.
I'm giving you $100. You can only make one bet on a player to win anything in the American League. Are you gonna put down those $100 on Dylan Cease at PointsBet plus 4,000? Promo code Pinwheels.
That's a pretty sweet deal. No,
no.
I'm more of a sure thing type of gambler. I do like Vaughn Rookie of the Year. That's a pretty good one. I don't know do you have it pulled up, Aldo?
Let's see. Let me get to it.
Vaughn Rookie of the Year, by the way. I would like to know because, by the way, if you were to today walk into a sports book and throw down $100 on the Chicago White Sox to win the Central, you would win $90. If you were to roll into the same sport book and drop $100 on the Chicago Cubs to win the Central Division, you would win $300.
Unfortunately, PointsBet still doesn't have the Rookie of the Year odds as of yet.
Hold on, I'm looking this shit up too. I'm logging into my handy dandy app.
However, PointsBet, speaking of the White Sox, for a more sure thing, Lucas Giolito is actually with the third highest odds here at plus 450 to win Cy Young. How about that?
I mean, I've been reading a lot of positive articles about what people think Lucas Giolito.
That's only behind Shane Bieber, who won it in 2020 at plus 400, and Garrett Cole right now is the favorite at PointsBet at plus 350.
Baseball future.
And let me tell you, there's a big gap between Giolito and like the next group. Giolito at plus 400, then you got Tyler Glass now at plus 1,000.
White Sox are plus 900 to win it all right now.
I hate to make this joke, Mailman Jack. Will they have comeback player of the year after last year being so short? If they have comeback player of the year, all Javi has to do is hit like a human child major leaguer, average major leaguer, and that would make him comeback player of the year. Because
I mean, the Cubs have like 5 guys that could win that.
Chris, Javi,
like their entire core, yeah.
So
I think you're comeback player of the year. Congratulations!
I think I would take Eloy most regular season home runs at plus 1,500.
Oh,
I think you can do it this year.
Okay,
I think you could do it. I think the other smart bet would be Andrew Vaughn Rookie of the Year. Not for nothing, and I try to use like a level head with these, because it's actual money. Nick Madrigal is eligible for Rookie of the Year this year.
Oh, he is. I was going to ask that actually, if he was still eligible.
Robert played over 40, right?
Yeah, Robert is not. And then
wait, was that the cutoff? 40 games?
It's something like that, isn't it? What is anybody in the chat know what the cutoff is for rookie, like qualifications for rookie? Because there's dudes that played like 30 games that come back as rookies.
Yeah.
Be Rookie of the Year. Fewer than 130 at bats or fewer than 50 innings pitched, fewer than 45 days on the active roster.
Trevor Williams, by the way. Trevor Williams. Evan
Trevor
Allman
Williams,
Trevor Williams, and Jesse Rogers didn't give him a single credit. He beat him by like 10 minutes.
Yep. Moncada could be comeback player of the year. He came back from the COVID, dropped a fucking just a hot.
He has to be really good though, or he's going to get just memed to death over his video.
Yeah. Yep. It's the at-bats that matters. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah. The ABs. Yeah.
Yep. But
that's good. Hey, you know what? White Sox fans are killing each other because of if is Pete here? I don't want Pete to yell at me. Aloha, are you in this chat? Because if you are, you're gonna probably stab me.
Let's
but
be
he's
positive,
very
Kevin,
very right in being concerned about the lack of depth. But we've beat it to death on this show that your depth in this league requires your farm system to pay dividends because no good, solid stud is going to sign on for a role play. And so you've got to either sign some dude that's like a questionable depth, or you got to pray that you're pretty good.
The Rockies traded Nolan Arenado and don't have one prospect in the top 140.
No, the Rockies. I think it was actually. I think I had a conversation with like a short back and forth with Lil Yumper last year when the Arenado trade rumors first started, and at the time we were like extremely pissed off at the Cubs. I mean, still are. What's new, right? But I think he said he's like, man, the Cubs are kind of worse off than the Rockies right now, and I'm like. As much as we hate on Ricketts, deservedly so, and like the lack of spending, the Colorado Rockies are an absolute fucking train wreck. You talk about a team that has they had the couple big contracts and they just couldn't do anything with it. Like they still have Blackman. They're just paying him to just be good and not matter. They traded Arenado. They traded Arenado for nothing prospects just to get rid of his contract.
Yeah, but aren't they paying?
Oh, and $50 million.
What's his name?
Oh, Trevor Story. That's the other thing.
They're going to be able to play Trevor Story, though. I saw that MLB today. Actually, MLB Network did the 6 free agent shortstops, the best 6 next for 2021. They had Javi walking. They talked about Javi once. They Javi's picture was more prominent than any discussions about Javi, other than Javi had a bad year last year. They literally believe that Javi's going to walk. They said that Story was going to get locked up. They were saying that Lindor is going to probably get signed now that this Tatis dropped. It's completely
the Mets. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the extension stuff. So the Mets are really kind of on the ball, or on the hook for that now. But it was interesting to just see how in Chicago we look at our players and we look at them a little more elevated. And I think that people are they're kind of catching that you can't swing at pitches 6 feet out of the zone consistently and be considered an elite hitter. Your value is limited. And I think that's what makes, we look at fans and we see the good things. A lot of Cubs fans, my God, he's flashy and he tags cool. You look at, KB, he hits these towering drives. And, in the end, we fall in love with these guys, as players. But it makes it hard for us to trade and make moves because we get so locked in that kind of that flat word. We see them as what we want them to be as opposed to what they truly are sometimes. And I think it's, but the Rockies are probably the Philadelphia Eagles of Major League Baseball.
And Mac, our boy King Mac, what up, Mac? In the comments brings up a really good point. And just to be very clear on this, Mac has been beating the absolute shit out of this drum probably since I've met the man. And he's right, though. I mean, he's absolutely right. But that the White Sox need to start drafting out of high school more. And
might I recommend Chris Cortez out of Silverado High School in Las Vegas, Nevada?
Well, I mean, obviously the reason why Mac is really upset about this is
future
Howard.
Cubs MVP at Howard.
Yes, is Howard. But he is right. I mean, you really need to get in there and find the Jared Kellys and the Howards and get these kids in your system when they're 18, 19 years old. Those kids have the most trade value right now. Some 24-year-old guy who has been in the top 30 for 3 years, but still hasn't really made his mark. I mean, there's value there, but not nearly as much as an Ed Howard. But what they're doing is fine. I mean, they built the system to get to the point where they're at now, but the cupboard is getting a little dry, and now it's time to start looking in the high school ranks.
I think the league right now is trending towards, if you were to use an example, like an analogy, the league currently is I feel like they're transitioning towards buying bananas that are extremely green. like barely off the vine bananas, as opposed to getting those old, like perfectly yellow. Like when you buy a yellow banana at the grocery store, that thing's dead in like 2 days, right? It's wasted value. But if you buy fresh ones, and I think that's where the league's going too. Is I think the league is going young because they're cost controlled, and I think there's a lot of teams with the pandemic that are excusing now paying less. So if you have these younger guys coming through, you're gonna pay less over time because you can hold on to that water wagon just a little bit longer.
This is it. I mean, this is hitting the nail on the head.
That's the new market inefficiency.
Yeah.
What's the longest time we can get from paying these guys?
Yeah, but I mean, so I said in the tweet earlier today, positives. I'm over the moon ecstatic about some of these quotes coming out of White Sox camp.
I want to bring up a name. We
Banana.
talked about it last week. I don't think I've seen the video of him throwing, but we saw a picture of him out there. Michael, and we had the quotes.
Well, there's videos of him throwing.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Yep.
Michael Kopech.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of and then there was
first
that,
things first.
quote.
First things first. The flow is back. Very important. Hat
That is
mullet.
because they made him cut his hair at first.
The hat mullet looking good, flowing in that Arizona breeze while he throws 110 miles an hour. La Russa said he looked good. He said his stuff was electric when he hit his spots, and it was hilarious that people took that quote and like made it negative. Like, oh, it looks like he's not hitting his spots. Show me any pitcher in the history of baseball that hits his spots 100% of the time. Like, I know there's guys that do it more often than others. That's for sure. But the guy hasn't played in a year, man. Like, they said there's been a lot of quotes about how happy the team is with what he's been doing off season. His workouts. But everything that came out so far about him has looked good. But hold on real quick. The last thing that, Josh Nelson put out there earlier today is they keep saying that he's probably going to break camp with the team. They're going to break camp with the team, but they haven't said in what capacity. And now Josh Nelson is starting to entertain the idea that maybe he starts like Sale did and have him in the bullpen, and they start with like a 4-man rotation, and then they ease him into the starting rotation. Sorry, Fitz, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, do you think it's telling that well, it wasn't like any kind of like an offhand like snip, but the fact that La Russa yesterday, when asked that he looked great when he was hitting his spots or whatever he said, what was his quote? Like something like, in essence, it was like, it didn't feel like a dig, but it felt like I'm fully aware that.
That's what Zoe was saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like, yeah.
You're on radar, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, but guys, this is the thing. Let Tony work. Let Tony push buttons. He's going to piss dudes off. He's going to make them uncomfortable. A good leader of players makes players comfortable with being uncomfortable. And Tony La Russa is going to push the buttons until he rips out whatever he's got in there. And if he doesn't have it in there, it wasn't there in the first place. If Tony can't get it, no one can.
The thing that, I really liked about what Tony was saying on Thursday, he spent most of his press conference saying how impressed he is with Coach Katz and the new bench coach. I can't think of the dude's name right off the top of my head, but I like that a lot. I like the fact that, he was talking about how guys like Giolito was throwing his session, and then he was staying around and watching Lance Lynn's session, like watching the whole thing. He said basically so they can get to know each other better, so they can help each other out. I think that's something that Giolito has grasped as a mentality through the years he was struggling into. I mean, we even saw it last year when Keuchel was struggling a little bit. He'd come to the dugout, and the first person there was Giolito, and vice versa. Like, they had that camaraderie between the two. Same with Cease. We saw even in the playoffs and towards the end of the season when Cease was struggling a little bit, who'd he go sit right in between? Giolito and Keuchel. You know what I mean? And I love seeing that with the starting pitching, day 2 right off the bat. Everything Liam Hendriks says is hilarious right now. That dude's I think White Sox beat writers are going to love having him on the squad. He's a quote machine right now. He called the starting rotation the Monstars. He's like, they're just all huge. They're just, yeah.
Monstars lost.
Yes, they did.
I was thinking this, by the way, I know because though you don't let me anything, but I was thinking that if Andrew Vaughn gets Rookie of the Year this year, I would consider getting some sort of Vaughn themed tattoo on my heel. on
Do
my
the
foot.
bet now. Do the bet now. Ankle tattoo.
Creating a Vaughn foot tattoo.
Okay.
No, you have to get an Andrew. You have to get an Andrew Von tramp stamp.
Oh.
I want to have sex again sometime in 2021. No, but no, because you guys know the man crush I have on Vaughn. So like, this is really
An AV logo.
Yeah,
on
like
your ankle.
you can make like
right
a.
there on the whatever that weird nub is on your whatever that bone is.
Yeah. You said, this is for the aviators.
I could do that. AV. Harborview High School. I don't coach there. It's okay. I
Yeah, it could be like a A and then a V, like scissoring. Like,
so, in other words,
Whoa.
yeah.
Mr. Lucius, Leaf, are you saying that you and Aldo are scissoring? Wait, shit. Sorry, that's the prison. Still trying to wear off that teardrop.
But I mean, it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows the first couple weeks. These are all the best shape of the life interviews, as Beeflo pointed out.
Was it Cease? Who did it? Someone did it. I think it was Cease.
Did they already?
Article from last spring to this spring. It wasn't feeling best of their careers. I feel like I've got more. Like I've been working on my the cliche. Like, oh god.
All I know is I'm pumped that Yasmani Grandal watched the 108 Sox Fest after show and repeated back what I said for my bold prediction.
You know what? If Andrew Vaughn gets rookie of the year, maybe I'll just get a Mr. Beef Loaf tattoo on my ankle instead.
Dude, you and these tattoo bets.
Tattoo. I need to get my Hunter S. Thompson dagger, and I'll shut up about it.
I mean, just go get a tattoo.
Yeah, just get a tattoo. I mean, you should get an Andrew Vaughn tattoo. You should be like one of those guys who like does the prediction tattoos. Like you should just get it, and it says Andrew Vaughn, 2021 American League Rookie of the Year.
It's like there's always a guy in Detroit that gets Detroit Lions like NFL champs, and he just keeps crossing out the year and putting the next year on.
So you do that.
The idea of a shirtless Beeflo tattoo on my lower back all of a sudden sounds very appealing.
I mean, if you never want to get laid again, yeah.
That does not sound very appealing. So,
you have to start. You do it for every award though, Kevin. So like after this year, then you do when you think he's going to win MVP.
Right. You guys don't know where I got the Chris Bryant after you got MVP.
Wait, what was the other one?
Oh, that is named Christopher. Never mind.
I saw this earlier. I didn't want to go over it because the big news out of Major League Baseball was Fernando Tatis, 14-year, 300 and something and change $1 million deal. Do you think the Sox could have threw Fulmer instead of Tatis? Well, yeah, obviously. But, I mean, people got to remember, and I know there was a lot of it, and there was a couple of mentions and a couple DMs of people, like especially Cubs fans, for some reason trying to troll me about Tatis. Tatis wasn't even on, like, the main secondary field for the White Sox international prospects. Like, they had him, like, on the Little League field in the back corner when they traded him. They did not know what they had. And, yeah, that's a lot of people's faults. That's a lot of people's faults on that. But at that point in his growth or whatever, they didn't know what they had. So they thought they won that deal when it went down. Like,
for big game, for big game, James.
Spoiler alert, they did it. I was laughing my ass off when all this news was breaking. I was super tired, so I didn't feel like typing it out in a tweet. But somewhere I felt like James Shields was sitting at an Applebee's and like he like looked up at the screen and just saw that deal and was like, "Good for you, kid," and like took a big drink of his 2-for-1 beer. Like,
I don't think I was on Twitter that night, but I'm surprised. Did he not trend? I'm surprised he didn't trend.
No,
James Shields?
People went for it, but
not enough.
Again, man, it's just I'm really happy the season's starting. New material needs to start cycling through Twitter because it's getting kind of stale out there. The 108 tourney's coming up. That usually brings out a lot of new stuff.
Yes. Oh wait.
So, what else are you positive about?
It'll be interesting to watch.
Right now, everything.
Any Reynaldo Lopez love?
Didn't see a lot about him yet. Not sure if he even threw. I mean, everybody's bullpen session looked great so far. If you go off Twitter,
except for Mike Kopech, apparently he was only maybe hitting spots.
Yeah, fucking dude. I thought people were being like facetious at first.
I mean, but that's the first thing Kevin pointed out. He was like, "Well, do you think that's kind of a backhanded compliment?"
I thought people were joking when they started tweeting it. They're like, "What does it mean? He's not hitting a spot?" I'm like, "Bro, like, holy fuck, man!" Like,
No, it's just a shot fired towards a pitcher that has command issues that he's trying to let him know that you won't be out there if you don't have command. But it's nice, calm, passive aggressive way.
It's like when he's hitting his spots, he was electric. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of ladies out there that say the same things. But
headline: Michael Kopech not hitting spots.
And while you're here, I don't know if you were here before, but there needs to be a romper game this season once fans are available, where everybody in the 108 wears a matching romper.
I mean, so if you don't dress up if you don't dress up like Yohan Moncada on opening day, are you even a Sox fan?
I mean, I know is
are you even fanning, bro?
Our third baseman has more drip than the entire Pittsburgh Pirates. Like
the perfect opening day for the Sox needs to be like 35 snowing and then just 100 fans in rompers.
And can I be honest here? The last thing the White Sox need is a cold April, considering how many players from Latin America are on this team and how
they better be used to it by now.
I don't know.
Everybody's going to be dressed like freaking Sub-Zero. Speaking of the Mortal Kombat trailer that came out this morning, they'll be dressed like Sub-Zero.
That trailer looked dope as fuck. That looks like
Sub-Zero literally cuts a guy's throat, grabs the spurting blood, turns it into a blood dagger, and stabs the guy again with the blood dagger. I was
amazing.
Done.
It's amazing. Robert trained for the cold. I don't know if you guys saw the Instagram photo shoot he did in the snow.
He's been hitting in a freezer off
those are rompers. It's like a one piece.
Vest in a rolled sock.
It's like an adult onesie.
Or you can wear Gary Gaetti's cup.
Here is my question to you and to the chat. Who on the Sox is going to have Moncada's song as their walk-up song? Could be a pitcher, too. Pitcher's gonna
by the way, this was a good point. Luis Rivera hasn't played in the cold. They started last year in the middle of summer.
Yeah, hold on. I got a rebuttal to that. Answer my question, and I'll get my rebuttal up.
Oh, who's going to have his song?
KB onesie, Cub Zone. KB onesie. It's different.
I mean, if Jonathan Lucroy wants to make the team, he'd be like, "Hey, I'll get your song some plays."
No, someone will do it for. I think I feel like Liam Hendricks does it funny, to be funny.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's. Do you think he's going to use it as his walk-up song?
You remember Mercedes 100% would use it as his walk-up song. 100%.
Do you think Yohan made it just so he could use it?
I hope so. You got to that.
It was like Ben Zobrist going up to the crappy songs from his wife.
Oh my God, that was the worst song ever. That song was
Juliana.
That song was so bad, dude.
I need to check on this, but I think the song was just how a girl was leaving and he was kind of sad though.
Never have your significant other write a song for your walk-up music.
Yeah, and her voice was not good.
So wait, what's your rebuttal, Joe?
Oh, hey,
Did Robert play in the cold in the minors?
Hold on. The picture, I had to tweet it out so I can put it on the computer. Hold on.
Oh, I see it.
Yep.
I mean, just because he's in the cold doesn't mean he played it. So he's just standing there.
Excuse me, sir. He trained for this. He trained for this in the off season. Have you ever seen Rocky IV?
Do you think that he wore those skinny pre-ripped jeans?
Yes.
And those Timberland boots while training?
That just looked like a photo shoot. It's like, hey, I like my outfit. The nice snow in the background is going to really pop out.
I'm not sure.
Take a picture of me and then let me go back inside because it's cold as hell.
Boom.
Seriously, are those really denim or is that just is that actual Under Armour? It looks like jeans.
Hey man, he's just getting ready for it. I'm telling you, I picture Rocky IV montage training scene, him stepping in 2 feet of snow with the big thing on his shoulders, getting ready. Yeah.
Funny, I picture the beginning of Cool Runnings.
Hey, that works too.
I mean, this is basically what you did.
Yep,
I did. Luis Rivera stood in snow.
It's sexy. You just proved why exactly everybody in the 108 should wear a romper.
Yeah, that's why they have to wear
a romper. The whole point is to wear one size too small in the middle of the summer. Make sure it's a summer day, really. You want to choose
No. It has to be opening day when it's cold as hell. 108 rompers.
Yeah, and definitely wear a rolled sock or a cup because it's going to be cold.
Yeah, and hopefully they put a plexiglass in front of you because you guys are going to be fucking shooting, dude. Yeah, Mailman Jack, I could see you delivering mail plotting through the 2 feet of snow. Not on my parents' block though. That shit was shoveled, son. Shovel that shit.
Hey, Memo and Jack knows when he comes home from a long day, he's got like a nice soup or a very delicious looking pizza waiting for him. I swear to God, every time I look at his tweets and when he comes home from work and there's something on the oven, I'm like,
no, Jack, what do you always tell Beef he's got to be drinking? A buttery Chardonnay.
Buttery Chardonnay.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. I got a cup socks
Toilet
question
Merlot, right?
Mm-hmm.
for Kevin and Zoe. Who will have a better 2021 season? Jake Arrieta or Carlos Rodon?
Oh,
I think Arrieta's going to be a starter and Rodon's going to be in the bullpen.
I said Arrieta wins 11 games, so that's not too bad. I guess that would be a success.
I think Rodon. I can't say Rodon just because I don't know if he's going to play more than 2 games. That guy's arm is such a.
I mean, Arrieta hasn't been the healthiest since he signed.
No, so also I'm sorry I came to the show late and discombobulated, but
shout out Brody.
Yeah, shout out Brody.
Play this for him.
Like, get a job already. My God, it's been like a month and a half, 2 months now already.
So I've been thinking a lot of Cubs fans on Cubs Twitter are very, very, very weirdly excited about Jake Arrieta coming back. And I get the whole idea of Jake Arrieta. I get it. But my question to you, and I want to hear as Cubs fans, do you think there's a player out there that White Sox fans would do the same for? Even though he was terrible last year.
I mean,
if he came back for the White Sox, they would go nuts.
Tom Fernelli loved when you guys re-signed Yomer. White Sox?
Yeah.
I mean, anyone from
Polka. Yeah, Polka.
75% of your fan base wanted AJ to be the manager.
Yeah. AJ being the manager or Daniel Polka's a good one. I don't know why I didn't think of Polka.
Oh, I mean, Ozzie Guillen, the other percentage wanted him to be the manager.
But I'm just saying, I saw
the player to come back.
Wait, you don't think that people they were excited for Adam Eaton?
But
no, they were not.
I mean, here's the difference, though. Like, the main reason that they're excited is because he was on the 2016 World Series.
Right, he won a World Series. I get it.
Who on the 05 team is still playing?
I guess that would be. Oh my God, he really did order a romper.
Wait,
that's awesome.
I don't know who. Most of the players that have been on the team who are good are still on the team. Abreu.
Right. No, I know. It's just I was just thinking because as soon as I saw the news, one of you two told me, and I was like, okay, cool. And I went on Twitter, and I saw that Dom dude and all these other people are fucking.
Player?
They need to change their shorts after they saw that Jake Arrieta was coming back. I'm seeing people tweet pictures of him with a split screen of Jesus, and it's holy shit.
Well, okay, hold on, though. That's context, though. First off, I'm going to clear one thing up. First off, Dom is extremely excitable. He's like,
I know.
You give 4 candy bars to.
I get it.
He's actually he got his COVID shot, and he is now.
I'm trying to figure out socks.
But I think you're looking at the Church of Jake, which was a really popular thing when Jake was here the first time. So there was pictures that had Jake Day and all that stuff, all that the State Farm, all that stuff. That all happened around Jake Arrieta time. That's a bunch of easy catchphrases that Cub fans were used to. So I mean, I understand the excitability.
I get it, but then I looked at his stats last year. He was bad.
Look at his stats the last time he came to Chicago the season before. That's the thing is looking at
many pitches and many innings.
That was 8 years ago.
I mean,
there is no comparison though, because the last time the Sox were really good was 2012.
Well, maybe if Chris Sale came back, Yumper, that might be.
That would be one.
Would be one. That wouldn't be. I think that's probably the closest.
That's the only one.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only one.
Can I say something? I don't mean it as a shot at Sox fan base, but does it? I mean, it feels like when a guy leaves the White Sox, they can pretty much GFY the minute they leave. Cub fans blame ownership.
I don't think that's true at all. I would.
No,
I would
okay.
very much.
I'm misreading it. I'm misreading it totally.
No, because it's
Twitter. Please come back. They hated you, Darvish,
Kevin,
because we lost Jake, and then Kevin, you left. They want you.
We can't really do these comparisons though, because the Cubs players, the recent Cubs players who have left, they were part of good teams. The recent Sox players that have left have been on bad teams.
But I mean, no. Yeah, I mean, but look at there's still people that are butthurt about Dane Dunning that are going to, you know what I mean? Like, it depends who the player is. Adam Eaton, whatever. Like I said, I'd drive him to O'Hare again. I don't care. You know what I mean? But, like, there's certain players. But for the most part, what Aldo is saying is the end-all, be-all to this entire conversation. The Cubs players that are leaving World Series teams. The Sox players that are leaving losing teams.
Like, I was trying to think of position players
not
from, like,
all of them. Yumper just threw that one out there. That's kind of cool.
like I was thinking, like,
That's
28, like 2017, 20, like, you guys just went through a rebuild. Like, all those players, most of them didn't matter.
I need to take, like, I think I'm going to put myself in my own Twitter jail for 2 days. I need to step off of Twitter.
No.
Because I'm starting to get, like, easily annoyed with recycled jokes. Like, really, like annoyed with it. I think I gotta put myself in Twitter jail for.
No, you just need to diversify your follows. Just follow a couple idiots.
Well, that, and I also just had a 3-month-old scream in my face for 2 hours. So I'm not in the best mood right now. But, like, yeah.
That sounds like a.
Wait, what joke just
No, it's just in general. Like, someone said, like, Tony La Russa said the pitching staff was loaded, and then the first reply tweet is, "Yeah, I bet he was loaded." And it was like,
I mean, come on, that's a little.
No, but it's just.
I made a joke earlier today about him needing to chew down a frozen chew toy. Is that a newer or older joke? Is that
if you're going to make fun of Tony La Russa's drinking, which I don't condone, and I've gone down this road 100 times, and I'm not going to do it again, or you're going to make fun of Madrigal being short, or you're going to make fun of the White Sox trading Tatis, or you're going to do anything of that, just figure out a creative spin. Like Bennett. You know, Bennett, the dude, he took that Hendricks comment about the Monstars and did a video of the Monstars, and then he made Nick Madrigal the really, really short one. And he's like, was this just an opportunity to make a Madrigal short joke? Yes. I was like, all right, at least that's being creative. You know what I mean? Like, it's a side joke.
I almost sent you a video yesterday of the kennel club thing. Except someone had taken the dog and superimposed little tiny Shrek on it. And
the little dude.
I almost sent it to you. That was Tony La Russa trying to get his best out of
All right, here we go. I have the perfect name.
Whoops.
That Sox. Actually, no, I don't. I was looking at the 2016 roster.
You son of a bitch, Jack.
2 days straight. Joshua Tree, Achtung baby. And then you can go ahead and maybe Unforgettable Fire. 3 days straight, nonstop. You will feel like $1 million, and you'll roll in wearing fly goggles and leather pants.
All right, so the last time the Sox were before 2020, the last team that was like semi-competitive before the rebuild was 2016.
Yep.
Position player like that haven't stayed because Tim Anderson was like around that time, I think, and he's obviously still with the Sox. Abreu still with the Sox. Chris Sale was that team. Quintana was on that team. So like maybe those were, except for Quintana sucked the last couple of years. So Sox fans probably weren't that. But like as a fifth starter, I think Sox fans would have been like, yeah, Jose Quintana, right?
Yes, Jose.
But the only position players I see who can even be remotely like, hey, Avisel Garcia,
okay,
or Omar Narvaez as your second catcher.
No, not Omar Narvaez. Omar Narvaez is like he's like that like toxic girlfriend, keeps coming in and out. Like
Lurie is still on the team. He was on that team.
Juan Uribe would have been welcome back.
Oh, Todd Frazier? Would Sox fans still like Todd Frazier?
I don't think so. Juan Uribe is a player though that could have had a terrible year, came back to the Sox, and people would have been pumped.
Melky Cabrera, Jimmy Rollins, 43-year-old Jimmy Rollins. You want him back?
Yeah, him, Andrew Jones, Ken Griffey Jr., Kenny Lofton.
Larry's bored.
Bruno Holt.
But I'm sure he would.
Oh yeah, Yumper. See, Yumper, you're on a good streak tonight, Yumper. You're making some smart comments.
McCann.
If McCann came back, people would be juiced. I don't know why.
I mean, some Sox fans still want to trade Grandal and have McCann.
Yes, which is wild. Yes,
amateurs. Everybody knows you trade Tim Anderson for arms.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But yeah.
But that, I just thought it was weird. I know, and I'm going to preference this so we don't discuss this again. I know that Dom is extreme excitable Cubs fan. I know that Don't even really know why I follow him, but I do. But
I think that just talking about the Arietta and the excitement, I think that was just like a release of like, remember when we were like really good?
right.
That's what that was.
And to be honest, Dom especially, while patting his own shoulder for getting vaccinated, has also been posting and reposting a tweet about, I told you to prepare for this, like an ominous negative tweet that was like telling everybody prepare for the, every time like a rumor would pop up about like, Willie or KB being traded or what, it would be like, I told you guys to prepare yourself for something. That it never actually happened, but has been in this place where everything is, he's the people that are feeding him his stuff, which sounds like crap, have been down and doomy and gloomy. And I think that all of a sudden, I think Dom, that was a nice moment for Dom, because Dom is very optimistic and I love it. So it was, but Cub fans needed something, and it is, we need something, for God's sakes. And Arietta, if it tickles the Peter a little bit, it tickles the Peter a little bit.
I mean,
or whatever.
So before you jumped on
from Spider-Man, bad quote.
Before you jumped on, so I asked Kevin, like, I mean, heading into 2021, like, who would rather have, John Lester, Jake Arrieta? I mean, like, the answer for me every time is Jake Arrieta.
I asked you that question. That was the first thing I asked you guys when they signed Jake Arrieta. I go, wait, how much did John Lester get paid? Couldn't they have either one of them? Is this the one you would want? And you both said yes. You'd rather have Jake Arrieta.
I mean, like, if you're talking about the two, it's like I guess, like, yeah, but like, in terms of like everything else, it's like, I mean, I said it in a poll that I did. I don't know. That's a Zoe answer. I don't know. But no, like, yeah, it's Arrieta is just at this point you could count on a little more, I guess.
And how about this too? Look, I love John Lester a ton. Okay, and you look at John Lester and you look at John Lester's body. John Lester enjoys a couple Budweisers, no Bud Light no bullshit Bud Light. He wants Budweiser around the bonfire pit. He likes the bonfire pit, and that's his thing. And John Lester is a crafty lefty that doesn't have to, he's more of a doughy guy. And you look at a Jake Arrieta who's a brick house, and you throw a brick house in that clubhouse, a guy that has no off switch when it comes to work, and you throw him with a bunch of young pitchers like Adbert with Braylon Marquez. And some of these young, impressionable young guys, and they learn a work ethic at least for a year under a dude that doesn't have an off switch when it comes to getting stronger. And I think that's a benefit that's an unsung thing. And I think that's something that weighs into what I look as the equation is. You got a guy that's going to show these kids again.
Shit! So put on sunglasses.
Oh dear God!
Mailman Jack said he wanted me in Bono glasses. This is the best I can do.
By the way, so when the snow does melt, I need some more of those.
That'll never happen.
Shit.
Maybe by opening
day. Arrieta is a good influence on how the guys work in the clubhouse and the weight room. So I like that. Where John Lester will show them how to listen to country music and bang out on the by the bonfire pit and maybe bang on other players.
Big Pilates guy.
And yes, hold on. The answer to the who is the White Sox Twitter, Dom? Sox fan Mike.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's not
like he had no followers, and then he had like 100,000 followers like overnight. It felt like
he's not. Like Dom is like way more excitable, but like the homerism angle of it, like that's Mike.
Well, I'll be honest too. Is it Shy Sox fan Mike, or what is it? No, is it
Shy Sox Mike?
Yeah, he has much better grammar than Dom.
Mike's a good kid too. People shit on Mike,
so he just writes it out as he hears it, which is good. It's fun. It really is. We got some interesting characters in on baseball Twitter, but
who's the K-Fids on White Sox Twitter?
Shit.
No one real. I'm trying to think. No one. I can't think of anyone. White Sox barber goes to jail a lot. He goes to Twitter jail a lot.
Jeez, Pete.
Ken W.O.
Wow.
I mean, relax. All right,
let's see.
Both
kind of lean towards the old school mentality. Okay. Both take some swings in the cages.
I got enough guff all week from telling my Sox summer that he looked like Scott Stapp when he took his beanie off. So it's been even though he does look like.
But these are the closest things I'll have to Bono glasses for Mailman Jack.
You look like Roy, or you look like Dan Reynolds right now, the lead singer of the Black Keys. Actually, I dig that.
I'll take it.
Hold on, let's see.
Oh shit.
Were you guys at all surprised about the Tatis contract?
I think it's a better deal for the Padres.
Shit, yeah.
No, it is, but like he's only played like a year and a half. Like I mean, great for him, great for the Padres, but like shit.
Yeah, they're rolling the dice. I mean,
Is
they're
his
rolling
kid
the
gonna
dice.
The kid's been in the organization for 6 years now.
Like 4, I think.
4-ish.
And he's
Oh wait, no,
healthy.
since 2016. 2016.
Other than didn't he like turn an ankle or something? Is about it though, right? He's been healthy the whole time,
He's
right?
been healthy.
Yeah.
And dude, I think they got to steal. They got to steal.
Oh, I mean that's the answer.
That's there it is. You know, the person that buys the romper is the one with the wisdom, and now he spits more.
And
That
just
is
for the
true.
record, I agree with Mac and Mr. Delicious. Sox fan Mike, I don't know why I think people pick on him because they think they can. Like he's an easy target because he really doesn't stick up for himself too often. He's a good kid, man. I've seen him on the 108 sessions and all that stuff. Like, kid just loves the White Sox, and he really is a kid. Like, he just turned 21. Like, he's a kid. But, I don't know. People need to back off him. He's a good dude. I don't mind him at all.
People don't like optimism. People like
That's
to shit
it,
on
too.
optimism. and
Yeah.
happiness.
That's it, too.
No, I mean let's be fair. It's the over the top.
Right. I mean, he is.
that's the only thing it is. That's why.
Let's take it way back. Let's take it way back. Remember back when Cub fans were like supposed to be the most optimistic human beings on the planet? Yeah.
Yeah, like
that's gone.
they waited 100 and some years for this, and now they should be happy. And, like, yeah.
Like seriously, I learned to be more optimistic. My dad is like he's Kermit the Frog meets Bill Gates. He's the most optimistic human
Well,
ever.
Zoe, I can't even ask you this because like all your Sox players, most of them have already been locked up long term. But just think about it: if all the guys on your team weren't locked in long term, who would you give this type of contract to?
Probably Robert.
Ooh.
Do you think that they're going to give Vaughn something? Do you think they're going to extend Vaughn now so they don't have to worry about service time?
Yeah,
Before he actually maybe blows up.
Yeah, that seems to be Hahn's MO. He likes to do that with players, especially players that he has a strong feeling about. They did it with Eloy. Then the next year they did it with Robert, and then this year a lot of people think they'll do it with Vaughn. Otherwise, you won't see him on the opening day roster. And also, just to throw it out there, MLB Network just finished their top 100 players, which was absolute trash. But White Sox #1 with 9 players.
Nice.
Was Mike Trout number 1?
Yes. Cubs. No, Cubs.
My man.
Uh,
By the way, I got a trip
So
out.
for the
Somebody actually on Twitter thought you were Easy E.
So for the podcast listeners, Sox Unprotected commented, "I'm more concerned with extended Vaughn 2 over 6 feet tall."
Yes. All right, guys. I hate to bounce, but little man is screaming again, so I am going to bounce. Once he goes back to sleep, I'm going to try to tune into our uncle's show that happens later tonight. I heard that comment section gets pretty lit. So,
are you familiar also with the Spock theory of letting babies cry themselves out?
Yeah, that's not happening tonight, Kev. So I will talk to you guys. I'm probably be in the 108 comment section tonight, but yeah, I gotta go because this kid is screaming right now. So be good to each other. I'll talk to you guys, and yeah, later.